Well, hello YouTube fans, it is I, Mr. Know-It-All. I know it all and so should you. Before I get started here, I'd like to congratulate my Green Bay Packers for winning Super Bowl 45. Yes, they have beaten the Pittsburgh Steelers and have taken the Vince Lombardi trophy back home where it belongs, Green Bay. So Green Bay are your defending Super Bowl champions now. And now we're going to focus on yet another championship, and that is the NCAA Men's Basketball Tournament. Yes. What I have right in front of me is the NCAA Tournament Bracket of 2011. And I will tell you that from the East region, you have number 1 seed Ohio State, number 2 seed North Carolina, number 3 seed Syracuse, and many others. And you got teams from the West region in Anaheim. The East region is from Newark anyway. The Southwest region from San Antonio, and the Southeast from New Orleans. Now I have made my picks, and for the first round, starting tomorrow, will be Alabama State over UT San Antonio, UAB over Clemson, VCU over USC, and Arkansas Little Rock over North Carolina Asheville. Alabama State will face Ohio State, UAB will face West Virginia, VCU will face Georgetown, and Arkansas Little Rock will face Pittsburgh. Unfortunately, all 4 of those teams are going to be knocked right off the very next round, as all four of those teams will be defeated by Ohio State, Georgetown, Pittsburgh, and West Virginia. So we have the next round after the first one. I say Ohio State will face Villanova, West Virginia will face Princeton, Xavier will face Syracuse, and Washington will face North Carolina. Meanwhile, in the West region, Duke will face Michigan, Memphis will face Texas, Cincinnati will face UConn, and Temple will face San Diego State. In the Southwest region, we got Kansas versus Illinois, Richmond versus Louisville, Georgetown versus Purdue, and Texas A&M versus Notre Dame. And in the Southeast region, Pittsburgh against Butler, Utah State versus Wisconsin, St. John's versus Brigham Young, and Michigan State versus Florida. Now, as much as I would love to see Michigan State and Michigan duking it out for the national championship title, I'm afraid that's not going to happen, because Duke will beat Michigan, and Texas will beat Memphis, and UConn will beat Cincinnati, and Temple will beat San Diego State. And your Elite 8 is as follows. Actually, Sweet 16. My Sweet 16 picks will be as follows. In the East region, Ohio State versus West Virginia, Syracuse versus North Carolina, and in the West region, Duke versus Texas, and UConn versus Temple. In the Southwest region, Kansas versus Louisville, Purdue versus Notre Dame. In Southeast, Pittsburgh versus Wisconsin, St. John's versus Florida. And in the Elite 8, you got Ohio State and Syracuse. In the East, Duke and UConn for the West, Kansas and Purdue from the Southwest, and Wisconsin and Florida to the Southeast. And my final 4 teams will be Ohio State, Duke, Kansas, and Florida. And coming into the Final 4, I would say that Duke will beat Ohio State, and Kansas will beat Florida. And finally, in the championship game, we will have Duke as the Blue Devils will retain their men's basketball championship crown. I feel it is inevitable, because yesterday at 1, Duke had dominated North Carolina in the ACC championship. And I can only imagine what would happen if Duke would dominate every single team in their path in that tournament. So you cannot expect Duke to lose this one. I think you can definitely expect Coach K and the gang of Duke to not only retain the NCAA title, but absolutely dominate the tournament. So don't get your hopes too high, but all the same, go ahead and make your picks, and you can go ahead and leave your comments on who you picked to win the big dance, and any other questions or requests you may have for me on what else to talk about on my video blog. So go ahead and leave a comment. Do what you got to do. I wanted to make this short and sweet because I don't want to take too long to post my video, but there you have it. I made my tournament brackets picks, and now it'll be your turn. So go ahead, make your picks, make other requests about other things for me to talk about, whatever. Just leave a comment. Feel free to voice your opinion. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I am Mr. Know-It-All. I know it all, and so should you. And with that, pow, I'm gone.